Just don't. Just worry.
Just don't.
Less.
Just
don't.
Yeah. Do not be concerned.
Fear not.
Every time someone says that, you should do the exact opposite. So I will.
Be not afraid, Brian.
Have no fear. I am here.
That's exactly why I'm scared.
With you involved, I should be afraid.
Okay. Dealing with Apollyon ever.
We are gonna go ahead and get started. Finally, an hour later. And as always, at the beginning of my sessions, I'm going to ask for a recap of the last session. So, feel free to jump in, whoever.
All right, Brian,
wants
I choose you.
Wait, I'm sorry. What did you say? I have crappy headphones.
I choose you.
You've been nominated to do the recap.
Sorry, I gotta walk my pet fish.
No, you're going to do the recap.
Okay, wait. So are we?
See, I used to roll. I used to roll and choose someone to do the recap every session. So if I have to go back to doing that, I will.
No, you're good. I'll just attempt to recap. Are we meaning session 0 or the boss fight?
Session 0.
Okay, so we all woke up back at the DWMA after kicking the fuck out of a boss. We kind of just jumped our ass. It was great. But no, we woke up to the sounds of, I think it was Anna and Judah being loud in the kitchen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, shortly after, Faye joined. Apollyon left, met up with Professor Iger outside of the
Gabriel
cabin.
first.
Came back in the cabin. We had a nice little chat. Decided that we would go spar at the crater. Brian and Amani kicked the shit out of Faye and Warden for giggles. And then Anna and Katya sparred. And
Anna cheated. In Katya's words.
I did not.
And Apollyon actually gave professorly advice.
For once, yeah. And then our
Apollyon actually a semi-decent professor? What?
Holy shit, since when? And then our PDAs went off with information regarding Soma. And him being a level 4 wanted contract.
Correct. So, that is where we cut off session. With all of your PDAs lighting up with the notification that a new Shinigami listing was posted. We are going to pick things up the next morning. Brian, you have made it known that you were going to join the team. So that room that you were put in is officially your room now. Again, I will draw out the layout of the cabin eventually, I promise. But yeah, that is your room now. You and Amani can design that. So you spent the night there again. Oh god, the echo's back.
Oh, hold on.
I'm blaming Dylan.
It is Dylan's fault, in fact.
Damn it, Dylan.
My shit automatically switches to my earbuds instead of my actual mic, so...
Every single time, and it's so scuffed. So, yeah, Brian, you guys have taken up a space in the cabin. Anna, you guys kind of have your own place in one of the other cabins currently. The same with Faye and Warden, you guys have kind of taken up in one of the cabins where all the teamless people like to hang out. If you guys want to discuss moving into Redacted's cabin, that can be discussed later. But for now, all of you consecutively awaken with the smell of fresh food once again wafting underneath of your doors, and the sounds of alarms going off. Because you guys have something to do today. Or rather, those of you that were in Russia have something to do today. The rest
Time
of
for
you...
trauma therapy.
True. the rest of you are waking up for another day of school. I'm gonna have all of you roll.
Oh.
We'll see what order we're gonna go in.
9. Hey, maybe I shouldn't use these dice. It's already going bad.
Ah, you beat me to it.
Oh, never mind. At least I beat Apollyon.
Okay. Faye, you are actually the first one up and about today. What are you doing with your morning?
She is frantically searching for food.
So you get up, walk outside of your room in your cabin, and you see a figure approaching you with a plate.
Okay, she's gonna just walk forward, overly excited, kind of off-puttingly excited for morning time.
It is Warden for sure, and it is more bacon. It's like heaped with bacon.
Yes, bacon.
Warden is in the weightlifting elective, and she bulks all the time. So she is currently in the middle of that right now. So she happily hands you your own plate, holding her plate of bacon above your head out of your reach.
Gosh darn it, I needed both.
She gives you a slightly smaller plate with a little less heaps of bacon, but still a significant amount of food.
Alrighty. Faye's just gonna take the bacon and run back to her room to eat it all up.
Okay, you go running back to your room, and you actually bump into someone on your way there, more focused on the plate of food than what's in front of you. You pause, managing to catch the plate, and look up to see a girl. One that you've seen around the academy loosely, but that you've never really spoken to that much. This is going to be Minerva. She currently has her mask off, but she has the rest of the Rhizostoma armor on. It is of similar make to the twins that Warden has been going to see in the cabin you were at yesterday.
Okay. She's gonna apologize to her.
Minerva kind of smiles. Doesn't really say anything, awkwardly shuffles around you. Starts making her way towards the kitchen. You see that she's come out of a door about 2 doors down from yours.
What? Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Faye is going to pay attention to that for like 2 seconds and then go back to running back to the room for that bacon.
Yep, so you shuffle your way back into your room and sit down to eat. Let's see. Anna.
Getting ready for the morning jog.
Okay. I'm gonna say, for the sake of my own entertainment, that you are also in the teamless cabin. So you are also witness to the shenanigans that are taking place in the hallway. Faye almost barreling Minerva over. Warden standing there eating a full plate of bacon. Liam sheepishly and tiredly walking out of his room and rubbing at his eyes, which have dark circles underneath of them.
Shoot. I don't think I can get the attitude just right, but she greets everyone and says, "I'll see you and you later," and then dashes out.
Are you wearing like jogging attire?
Yes.
And
hair's done up in a way to be out of the way.
As you say this and start for the door, you hear a hold on from behind you. Warden
jogging in place, turning around.
You're you spin around doing the high knee jog. Warden has just finished her plate and set it down on the counter, and she begins to pull her hair back. She says, "Alright, I think I need a bit of a warm-up this morning. You care for some company?"
Sure. We're going around the entire lake.
Great, she says unenthusiastically and starts to follow you out the door. You notice that she doesn't seem to be concerned about the fact she is wearing heavy armor to go on a jog with you. As you, like, make your way out the door and take the first, like, I don't know, few yards of jogging, though, you see why, because she is having no problem lugging this armor around. It's like normal clothing to her.
I'm just imagining the sounds of heavy armor from Dark Souls 1.
The heavy-ass thud. Yeah, that's kind of what it's like.
Yeah.
The running on she's kind of like running on the dirt next to the path, so it's a little more muted than it was when you guys were passing over the like cobblestone.
Yeah.
So you guys are going out for a good old morning jog. Brian,
Yellow.
there is once again the wonderful smell of food, and Amani is actually not in the room when you wake up.
Brian's gonna slowly and begrudgingly get up out of his bed, rub his shoulders because it's cold and he's not used to it still, and then make his way outside of his room.
You start to walk outside of your room, and immediately as you open the door, there's a figure standing, like, inches from your face.
Oh, hello.
It is Lorenzo. He holds up a hand before you can, like, say anything else. Like, to shush you. And then he pulls something out of his pocket, and without another word, starts taking measurements on you. Like, you're, like, measuring around your waist, measuring the length of your arms.
Ryan's just gonna stand there very confused.
Once he seems satisfied, he nods once, turns around, and walks away from you without saying a word.
Okay, bye. What the fuck was that all about? Anyways, Brian's gonna make his way to the kitchen to get food.
Okay, you make your way to the kitchen, and once again you see Cody, seemingly where she belongs, hanging out. She's in between making things. There's, like it was yesterday, a variety of pastries. There's fresh bacon that she had to get more of because you guys ate all of yesterday. Imani is sitting on one of the bar stools, enjoying what looks to be some sort of muffin, question mark.
Brian's gonna make his way over to Cody, grab a plate, put some bacon, pastries, bagels, muffins, all the good stuff on it, and say thank you. And nod off and walk towards Amani.
You seat yourself at one of the many stools on the island. That's about the time Apollyon walks in. Apollyon, never sleeping. Your hand still itches from yesterday. There's a strange sensation about it. Almost like a stinging numbness. You
Good
walk
morning,
in
everyone.
and you almost trip. Roll me a dexterity check for
Alright.
shits and giggles.
Let's do it. That is... hold on, let me pull up his sheet. That is a 6.
You do trip. It's not an almost. It is a 100% trip. And as you are pushing yourself up off of the floor, you glance behind you to see a coffee table perched precariously right where the doormat should be.
Dear God. He
Brian's
just...
gonna see this and spit out his coffee.
Yeah, like, it is very obvious that Apollyon just face-planted on the floor behind you guys.
Get over there!
The coffee table always returns.
What about a coffee table?
He gets himself up, brushes himself off, doesn't elaborate, and sits down.
Morning.
Good morning. Is everyone awake? We kind of have business to attend to today.
Remind me, what business do we have again?
Trauma therapy? Not being traumatized.
That sounds nice, yeah.
That sounds nice.
Sounds nice.
You hear the notification tone. I'm sure all of you have different tones set on your PDAs, but you hear a soft notification tone signaling that you have a message. Apollyon, you get it's a separate group chat actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So all of you that were on the Russia mission are now in a group chat on the messaging system on the PDA. And the message reads as follows. You do not recognize the username that sent that message.
Brian's gonna look at this and read. Does anyone have objections about the lake?
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Fucking nice.
Didn't we all?
You're right. You're really right.
Almost drowned Ingdold's character. We've all totally almost drowned once or 5 times. Yes.
That is how the conversation goes.
Alright.
So, Gabriel, being the last administrator messaging you in this group chat, you see that he says see you at 10 sharp. It is currently 7 o'clock in the morning. You've got about 3 hours until the meeting takes place. What would you guys like to do?
Brian's gonna eat all the bacon again.
Apollyon's just gonna wait for everyone else to be ready.
Brian doesn't know. Brian doesn't know about anything. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so as you guys are having these conversations, you guys have, like I said, a couple hours to kill. Anna and Warden are currently jogging around the lake right now. Faye is inhaling bacon. And Liam and Minerva are just walking into Redacted's cabin. They look at you guys. Liam also, very comically trips over the coffee table. Minerva, however, critted and casually steps over it as if she was expecting it to be there in the first place.
Can I roll to take a picture right as he falls?
Yes.
That's a 15.
That's a speed, yeah. You know what? Yeah, you get it. You just get, it's like mid-fall that he's tripping over the coffee table that you managed to snap the pic.
And right
Brian
as he
looks at Apollyon and says, "Send me that."
as Liam is starting to get up, he says, "And post."
And Liam grumbles as he slowly pushes himself up. And he goes to turn around, raising a foot to step down on the coffee table. And there is only a floor mat there.
Oh, what the fuck?
The Eldritch coffee table.
I'm so glad that shit wasn't in front of my door this morning.
It's a fucking mimic.
God damn it.
Minerva, on seeing your perplexed expression, Brian just murmurs, "You'll get used to it," and proceeds to walk inside further.
I don't think I ever will. This party surprises me with new shit every day.
It gets worse.
Oh god. You said that the last time.
It's true.
It's kind of a perpetual thing, Liam says, rubbing at the bridge of his nose as he sits down at the island.
Yeah, but what if I cast Hurricane on it? What if I just hit it with a hurricane, you know? Just
Oh,
A
we've
demon?
broken it a lot.
A demon, a pirate, and a witch walk into a bar.
You'd think one of them would have been smart enough to duck, he says. So, I guess we got a couple hours to kill. Is there anything we need to do before, this? Liam gestures to the general group.
Well, until I'm officially certified, I have plenty of time to kill. No paperwork just yet.
So what do you guys want to do? Actually, wait.
Awesome.
I need to go buy a coat. I will be back. Brian will get up, taking his plate of bacon.
You get up to go, quote, buy a coat, and Minerva grabs the back of your collar and sits you back down.
Okay.
Looks like you're stuck here with the rest of us.
And
Don't
Brian
worry
will
about it, she
instead-
says to you.
So I'm guessing that means no whirlwind stepping out of a window.
I mean-
I guess Ein will be hanging around the couch where he's been hanging out. So
Yeah, Ian's like sitting on the couch doing that thing where he like stands with his paws on the back of the couch, peeking over, and all you can see are like his ears. And the tip of his nose wriggling because he smells food.
Brian's gonna look at the. Ian's a dog, right?
Yeah, robot dog.
a robot dog.
Robot
He's-
corgi.
Brian is still gonna try to feed him bacon. you
You
bacon.
offer him a piece of bacon and he snaps it up happily.
Good boy.
You hear, like, where his tail should be thumping, just a slight whirring of mechanics.
He's processing it.
Brian's
So,
gonna feed him another piece of bacon.
He eats another piece of bacon.
So, what are we going to do?
I don't know.
Liam shrugs tiredly. You
I nominate. Oh.
get a good look at him. It does not look like he's been sleeping.
Ah!
Having too much fun over there, bud?
Minerva, however, seems fine.
I sensed one of you is a freak.
They both kind of slowly turn their heads to look at you.
Oh my god.
I
Hey,
wish.
I'm just the jury.
I wish that was the problem.
No, that's totally part of the problem. Anyways.
Well, anyway, I nominate Brian to be tied to a pole.
What the fuck? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Since when was that a thing? Fuck you.
Well, since Lewis is gone, it makes sense somebody's gonna be nominated for it.
Somebody has to take his place.
Brian is gonna turn his hand into his weapon form and just smack Napoleon with it.
I'm imagining, like, it's one of those things where Apollyon gets slapped, but he doesn't even move. He's just, like, sipping
Yeah.
tea out of a cup. He gets
Yeah.
slapped, and he just takes another sip.
He's used to it. Who's gonna restrain him? Are the twins gonna build a rope?
Brian is gonna very quickly roll and step out the window.
Brian yeets
Just start
himself
running.
outside. You yeet yourself outside, Brian, and turn around to start running, and you see a very small figure. You actually almost barrel into her as you turn around.
Pardon me, ma'am, but I'm kind of running. My friends are trying to string me up and attach me to a pole. Goodbye.
Katya lifts her brow and looks at you.
Who said I wasn't joining?
Brian's gonna teleport again. He's just gonna keep teleporting. He's like, what the?
Brian, like, flash steps all over the fucking place, catching looks from all the people who are, like, going about their daily business. Katya's just standing there on the sidewalk looking mildly confused.
Hi, Brian.
Yeah, you feel like you, like,
across the lake.
flash stepped your way out of the cabins, and you're kind of, like, in the trees beside one of the courtyards, and you see Anna and Warden jogging, the ground lightly shaking with Warden's footsteps.
Hi, Anna. And Warden, hello.
Look, if you wanted to come for a jog, all you had to do was ask.
No, Apollyon and the others are trying to tie a rope to me and attach me to a pole.
Oh, come on, it looks like you could use it.
No, I'm good. Why are you in on this? What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
Warden shakes her head and keeps jogging with Anna, striking up whatever conversation they were probably having. Unless Anna's just,
Okay.
like, singing to herself. I don't know what Anna does when she jogs. I don't know what her mindset is.
They are striking up a light conversation.
That makes sense.
I can't really think of anything at the moment.
No, you're good. So, the time is slowly ticking by. Is there nothing you guys want to do before this meeting gets underway?
Does Brian have a map of the campgrounds? Or
Yes,
the
you do.
Academy? Brian's
All
gonna go investigate
students...
whatever the silence is.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
So, you...
Actually, that's something Apollyon is gonna go towards as well, also.
You start walking, and you make your way across the courtyard. Once again, it's kind of a cloudy, overcast day, but there's still a duel going on one of the courtyards. There's a few students and a professor out there that you don't recognize. You don't recognize most people on campus right now, to be fair. You've been on a boat your whole life. None of these are your people. You keep walking. You pass the enormous cathedral-like church.
Whoa.
And you start making your way towards a less grandiose building to the side.
What
You
is
get
this
to
place?
the double doors, and you see that you can't see inside of them. There seems to be almost a shadowy seal over the doors so that you can't look in. Do you want to go inside?
Common sense would tell me that if there's a shadowy barrier covering stuff, that means I can't see inside of it. I shouldn't go in it.
Well, it's
But
not
I've
like
never been one to have common sense.
it's not foreboding. It's just like imagine like tinted windows. This is the magic version of tinted windows.
Brian is gonna peek his head in, or poke his head and just go, hello?
You poke your head in, pushing the door open, and you say hello. Your voice echoes. And you see that all around you, even immediately as you step inside, there are shrines. Some of them have simple pictures on them, some have statues, some have weapon forms that lay broken or intact. You have entered, for all intents and purposes, the DWMA graveyard.
Oh. That's a good question.
You walk forward, and you hear a thudding sound.
Can Brian tell where the thudding is coming from?
Yeah, it's just in front of you to the left.
What do I see?
You step forward and glance to your left and you see, first and foremost, what you think is a statue. It is to scale, a full-sized human. Let me see if I still have the image, the picture of them. Sitting around the statue, you see two figures. Where is his picture? Oh my god, I literally had his picture pulled up a second ago. Okay, well, do you still have Art of Draco?
Draco?
Have you done Draco?
I have not.
You need to do Draco.
I'll do Draco.
I'll give you art stuff for him later. Anyways,
Yeah.
so you see this man, and he appears to be made out of some sort of glass. It's like a hazy glass to scale, and he's in a position where it looks like he has a hand out, like he maybe threw something or held his hand out to stop someone. And sitting at the foot of this statue, amongst different types of flowers and other things, is a dog, a massive dog, an Irish wolfhound. And sitting leaned up against the statue, with his eyes closed, one hand resting on top of the dog's head, is a boy I'm pretty sure you don't recognize, because I don't think you've ever met him. He has whitish blonde hair. Looks to be an older student, maybe 18, 19. He has very soft features, but he's toned. You get the sense that he may be a Meister. You're not entirely sure.
Brian, upon seeing what this place is and the dog and the person just sitting there, he's gonna slowly make his way out the building.
You start to back up and you feel a presence behind you. The familiar spine chill.
$5, that's Apollyon. Brian's gonna turn around.
It is in fact Apollyon.
I owe myself $5. I don't know how that works.
I see you found the silence.
That's what this place is called.
Anything here pique your interest?
No, I was just exploring, trying not to get strung up on a pole. Hey, you guys.
Well, you will someday.
I can't tell if I hate you guys or not some days.
Apollyon's gonna walk past Brian over to Draco and stand there quietly.
Draco opens his eyes and looks up at you. Oh, you're back.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Yes, well, I assumed you were out on a mission.
What have you been up to as of late?
He glances to the side. You can see there are burn marks on his hands.
Been through something, I can assume.
I take it you didn't hear about Japan then.
I heard about it. I actually saw some of it through Elma's memories last time I saw him, but other than that, not much is known.
He clenches a fist to hide some of the burn scarring on his palms. Glancing to the side, you follow his gaze and you see another figure standing in front of a shrine that you haven't seen before. You do recognize the girl. You've seen her around.
Oh. Wait, is this of Eliza?
That's a Maishi.
A Maishi?
A Maishi is standing in front of the shrine. And glancing past her, you think you make out teal-colored hair on the picture on the shrine.
He walks over to Amaishi, still somewhat silent in respect.
You see, noticing your presence, she quickly wipes at her one good eye and glances up at you.
This group has been through so much.
She seems like she wants to say something. Like she's trying to formulate some kind of thought, and then she simply nods in agreement.
Quick question, is there or would there be a shrine to Pidge somewhere in here?
It has not been made yet.
He's gonna walk over to where... Is there any empty spaces?
There's plenty. It seems that, oddly enough, the way that the silence is, it's almost like the inside is bigger than the building portrays on the outside. It seems to just get bigger as it's needed.
Okay. He's gonna walk over to one of the empty shrines and he's going to pull out the grenade that Pidge gave him and place it gently on one of the pedestals.
You pull the grenade out and set it down, and you see movement swirling in front of you, like magic.
He looks forward.
The shrine seems to be taking shape.
He places it down.
You see Pidge's name come up.
I'm sorry I didn't have time to mourn you back then.
You get no response. It's only a shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Draco has sort of approached and is curiously looking at you. Don't tell me we lost another one.
The little maniac.
God damn it, he says under his breath.
Apollyon puts his hands together in a prayer motion.
The inner circle grows smaller, he says, turning around and walking back to the statue. Brian, did you go outside?
Yeah, Brian went outside.
Okay. You have officially stepped outside. It's pretty quiet right now. Seems that everybody has headed off to class for the moment. The duel has ended, and the overcast, kind of foreboding-looking sky is deterring people from spending too much time outside right this second. A sharp wind has picked up out of the west.
Can Brian use his weather sense passive to see if it's gonna rain or not?
Go ahead.
What be the weather doing?
Using your passive, you can tell that a storm is brewing.
Oh, looks like it's gonna rain.
It's not just gonna rain. It's gonna storm. It's gonna pour.
Brian's gonna text the group, log this. That 1 minute.
The rest of you, is there anything else that you guys want to do while the time is ticking down?
I sense that they may just stand around for a while.
I'm getting the same sense. Well, if there's nothing any of you guys want to do, then the the time has begun to tick down. You guys have eaten your breakfast, the run is beginning to conclude, and all of you have left the silence that were there. And the storm hasn't quite kicked in yet. You can see the very dark clouds looming in on the horizon, around the tops of the mountains, flashes of brilliant spidering light in the distance. And all of you that were involved in the last mission begin to make your way towards the lake. You find yourselves on the shoreline. And sure enough, Brian was right. It looks like a storm is beginning to make its way in. That doesn't seem to deter the people standing on the shoreline waiting for you, though. Of course, you see Gabriel there. That was to be expected, but the other two figures you don't really recognize. I will post them for you. There are two women standing there. One and two. These two. They're standing next to him, close to each other. They're a lot older than the rest of you. The one with the reddish blonde hair, she appears to be quite possibly in her 30s. The one with the darker hair, maybe just a tad bit younger than her. And they all have very calm, somewhat gentle expressions on their faces, especially the one with the lighter toned hair. As you guys begin to gather, Gabriel says, "Alright, are you sure this is where you want to do this?"
I think so.
Well, I know that you two should be at home on the water, he says, glancing at Brian.
I did live there most of my life.
Quite. Pridwin, do you mind? If Liam is among us.
He has
Hello,
Oh, he lives!
I have perished.
Liam,
Can you? That depends. Can you hear me?
Yes, my
Yes.
sweet baby girl.
Very scuffed, but yes.
Yeah, you sound fine.
Yeah. I'm using my earbuds because I can't connect my headset to this.
Damn.
I'm making soup.
Soup.
He's in the kitchen.
Are you at the
sorry.
soup store?
why are you buying clothes at the soup store?
Fuck you!
Yeah.
Fuck you!
Why are you getting trauma therapy at the soup store?
Why not? Who doesn't like noodle soup?
The one with the light hair holds her hand out to you. I believe you can assist me, Master Isostoma.
Certainly.
You are known to be able to walk on water, correct? She is holding her hand out expectantly to you.
He will take it. Also, he's still wearing his old armor, so he does not look great.
Drenched in like blood and dirt.
And rust.
It looks like there was an attempt to clean it, but it is definitely well beyond the point of saving.
Y'all look real rough right now, I'm not gonna lie. Like, none of you guys even showered. Like, it's been that kind of, like, 36-hour period since you've gotten back.
Apollyon's a cat. He cleans
Also,
himself.
the picture of how Pridwin looks right now is in the art channel for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He needs a
That
good
art looks
scrubbing.
really good, by the way.
It does look really good.
Thanks.
She takes your hand, and you feel an odd sensation. She nods to herself a bit. Yes. I do believe if you could share that with me. And you feel almost a pulling sensation, like something is being drawn out of you. There's a soft glow about her hand, a sort of bluish tone. And she releases you and lifts it in the air and spreads her fingers, and all of you begin to feel a strange sensation, a sort of floating sensation almost, that surrounds you. Gabriel, turning towards the water, smiles and says, "Well, come on," and takes a step out onto the water. And he doesn't sink. The two women begin to follow him, glancing back to the rest of you. Are you going to follow out onto the water surface?
Yeah.
Ryan will follow.
Napoleon will.
You guys begin walking, making your way forward, each one of you hesitantly stepping down onto the water and finding that your feet don't pass through. Anna, you and Warden are finishing up your run when you see a group of people that you recognize making their way out onto the lake. Warden kind of pauses, glancing at them, and then shakes her head and starts jogging back toward the cabin.
In an almost like reflex motion, Anna does sort of the Catholic cross and then keeps running.
Yeah, that sounds right. You guys are making your way back to the cabins. What are you planning on doing for you're kind of having a free day today?
I don't know. It's gonna rain, so hang out at a coffee shop.
Are you saying this out loud?
Yeah.
Warden is nodding beside you. I could get down with some coffee. You guys jog back into your cabin to go collect Faye and Judah. Faye, your Meister and the bright, exuberant new friend of yours have returned.
Okay, so I already have a funny idea. I apologize in advance, but like, I love Faye's little kid head, so Faye is going to run over to them and frantically and excitedly tell them it's going to rain. Run outside and stick her tongue out, even though there is no rain at all yet.
Warden is just kind of standing with one hand on her hip and the other like on the back of her head, smiling awkwardly at you, like a like a mom.
Anna takes that energy and joins you.
The two of you are standing outside, sticking your tongues out in the total lack of current precipitation. Meanwhile, back on the surface of the water, despite the little waves beginning to pick up with the wind, getting a little more turbulent, you don't seem to find your ability to walk bothered. It's a bit odd at first, but most of you are getting the hang of it, and you guys walk out and find yourselves well onto the surface of the water. And as you get out there, you notice that the one with the dark-colored hair just sits down, crosses her legs comfortably on the surface of the water, and gestures to the water near her for the rest of you.
Apollyon mirrors this.
You sit. Katya, also sitting. Not her first time walking on water either. Pridwin, you're quite comfortable with this. You and Lunala make your way forward and sit down. And you notice that as all of you get yourselves seated one by one, the light-haired woman raises a hand once more. And for a moment, you think you can see a reflection. Almost like the blue hue of that barrier on your last mission. And you suddenly notice that the wind isn't howling around you anymore. You're not feeling the frigid cold. You're in a temperate area. You can still hear the sounds of the storm rolling in an almost soothing manner. But you feel safe. Warm, almost like an embrace. She turns around and looks down at all of you and smiles warmly. Now, that's better. I believe some introductions are in order. I am... Well, my father's name is Dr. Campbell as well, so you can call me Jin. This is my partner, sister. We are, for all intents and purposes, here for you. Right now. For no other reason than to make sure that all of you are going to be alright. Now, I believe everyone in the group knows everyone else now that me and my partner are out of the way. So we're going to lay things out for you and tell you how this is going to work. Have any of you ever been in a critical incident stress debriefing before?
I've been, well, how would I put it? Technically dead for about 25 years.
She
So
doesn't seem surprised or bothered by this information at all, which is a little off-putting to you. She looks at the rest of you, getting the sense that most of you have no idea what she's talking about.
Not in any official capacity, certainly.
Right. Then allow me to give you sort of the lineup of how this is going to work. There are going to be several steps that we go through today. Right now we're in the introduction. Pretty self-explanatory. Next, we're going to go over the facts. We're going to talk about what happened, not in great, heavy detail. We're going to keep emotions out of it. After that, we're going to go through your thoughts on the experience. Following that, we'll deal with your reactions and the symptoms of what have happened. After that, we'll talk things through. We'll see what we can do to alleviate any issues that have arisen. And then we'll focus on re-entry. Need I remind you, this is mandatory, but this is not something I want you to feel as a problem or a threat. All of us are here today to be open and understanding with each other, and to be honest. This doesn't work if you keep it all inside and cage it. You've got to trust each other for this to be effective. And you do need it to be effective. Because as far as you're concerned, Sister and I are the ones who will give you permission to re-enter back into your normal capacity. Being allowed to take missions again, being allowed to reintegrate with your classmates. So you need this to go well. Are there any questions before we begin?
None that I can think of. You guys?
None off the top of my head.
If you feel a bit uncomfortable with the fact that you don't know either of us, you may ask anything you'd like. My partner and I are an open book, and we are meant to be outside of the situation. New eyes, to be able to give the best assistance that we can. Does anybody have any questions before we get into this?
None that I can think of.
As a crack of thunder rumbles, growing closer, Jen seats herself and smiles at you all warmly in the little circle that you guys have formed on the surface of the water. Well, where shall we begin? At the very beginning of your last mission, can you give me an overview, a thumbnail sketch, if you will, of what happened, start to finish? Anyone can give their input. Who wants to begin?
I suppose I can start for now. With the party, we all went in with, how would I put it, baggage already on our shoulders. We went into this mission after hosting a scouting party and dropped in to Russia via, I think it was a helicopter or a plane.
It was a cargo plane, but you know,
It was a cargo plane, yeah, whichever. And as we landed, we were almost immediately met with hostiles. I myself was already in a rough state back then. That version of me being only a facsimile. And we rested at a church, I believe, for a night after defeating various hostiles and meeting with some of the natives. And that's when it started for me. The madness.
There was another thing. During our descent, you disappeared. Although you had been for some time, apparently in contact with our informants. That
I think you
Oh.
cut out.
No, your mics did disappeared.
Man, I can't believe he's dead.
God damn it.
It's not even like registering your voice. Like it's not lighting up.
hang
Maybe
on.
try.
Oh, there you go.
There you
Oh,
go.
there we
Oh.
go.
You hear
Oh,
Holy
I
shit,
think it's
we're
just
back.
because my phone turned off.
Oh, damn.
Run.
The scouts which we sent in, apparently one of them was able to call on Apollyon. They did so one final time before we lost all contact with them. And Apollyon was given their final reports. Apparently, the signal we received, the one informing us that we were clear to enter Russia, had been a deception. We were not aware we were stepping into a trap until we'd already sprung it.
he speaks the truth.
Jen nods. She's writing something on a notebook that she has pulled out of one of her pockets. Go on.
It was a bit hazy for me, but I recall we met with a local tribe there. I'm forgetting their name. They were a group of hunters.
The Auk
They called upon us.
Lunala ads.
Yes, them. They asked for us to... They asked for us to hunt a beast, I believe it was.
Not initially, but when we first encountered them, they had warned us that we were not supposed to be there. That there was a threat, which was swiftly approaching. Something we came to know as the Wild Hunt. We'd unintentionally crossed the border from... Actually, I don't believe we'd fully crossed it yet. We reached a border town along the separation between the Beastlands and Russia proper. This town appears to have succumbed to the disease which we were investigating. And this threat came forward to wipe it all out. The best way I could describe it was a form of undead army. After they passed through, the Ark spoke with us. Solon was familiar with them. Apparently he had sought assistance from them during his initial attempts to deal with the Wolf of Moscow. They were not particularly amicable towards us, but they weren't hostile either. After some conversation, they did agree to get us into contact with the rest of their organization. And after we followed them, we traveled through a portal into their territory. Right. Another thing, when we did finally cross the border into the Beastlands, I had difficulty. My family was not fond of the idea of us traveling in to that country. It was forbidden. But I managed to force myself through. And it was after our meeting with the Ark, they requested that we hunt a monster to prove that we were on their side. Apollyon, if you wish to continue.
Yes. Which part did you leave off on?
Basically, he said that we met with the Ark at their like headquarters, and they
Yeah.
basically gave us the mission to go kill a
Yes.
monster.
Okay. After this part, following the monster, we made our way over to a village at the base of the mountain where this beast was. After staying there for a night, thanks to a friendly blacksmith that lived there, whose son recently went missing, we learned that the boy that went missing was secretly making treks up the mountain to meet with this Birdman. The next morning, we went there, or actually, I believe this was at night. We went there later this night and climbed this mountain, while also being not particularly pursued by them, but followed by some strange bird mask wearing folks. We crossed the bridge, which broke, and that's when I narrowly saved Fridwin from falling down. After which, we found the creature in a cabin at the top of this mountain. He was completely insane by this point, lost all touch with his humanity if he ever had it. He became nothing more than a beast, and the boy was unfortunately murdered by his hand after a rampage. We fought the monster. After a long battle, I put the monster to rest within a domain I once had. That's where we found a scroll, which, funny enough, before all of this, I'm just now remembering, we were tasked by a stranger to find this scroll. I believe I'm remembering all of this correctly.
Yeah, you guys are sort of mixing up the order a little
Yeah.
bit. It's fine.
Well, Apollyon was insane, so this is the best of his ability.
We're just trying to
Apollyon
like,
was insane.
Yeah.
Like I said,
We're
you guys
trying
don't
to
have to go
remember it
into
as we go.
heavy detail.
Yeah.
You can give the.
Yeah.
This section is more like the Spark Notes review
Yeah.
of what
Yeah.
happens.
Okay.
The Cliff Notes,
Well,
if you will.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
individual from a faction opposing the one we had initially interacted with offered us an opportunity to gain more information if we were to acquire the scroll for them.
Mhm. We had debated that night what we should do with the scroll. We were given conflicting information on what it truly was, and came to the conclusion that we must destroy it. The next morning, when it came time to destroy this object, we performed the destruction. However, we later discovered that our other compatriot who was not present, Solon, had snuck in and stole it, kept it on him, further deteriorating the trust of our team for a time.
The scroll was blank. It contained no actual vital information on it. Apparently, they had planted it on this individual in order to test us. And I suppose they decided, even in our state, that we were worth working with because they invited us to their city. The Beastlands is divided amongst the descendants of those cursed. We met with the more scholarly group, and they informed us that this disease was related to their curse. A sort of combination. Between curse and infection vector.
It was also around this time that I myself was losing my grip on sanity. My shattered form was being corrupted by madness.
And after some time spent within the city, some individuals pursued us. Apparently they had been pursuing us pretty much ever since we landed, tracking Lunala specifically. She detected them, but we were unsure of their intentions. Two witches, one of which Apollyon was familiar with, and another who was familiar with my family. The Blood Witch, whom Apollyon had a history with, was being guarded by a witch referred to as the Hex Knight, who was the keeper of a weapon which is instrumental to a dark ritual relating to my wife. We'd been worried that their intention was to bring harm to us, but they assured us their intention was actually the opposite. They wanted to ensure that this weapon did not come into contact with Lunala. And some words were exchanged, some agreements were made. Apollyon spoke very briefly to the Blood Witch, and it seemed at that point he had snapped. He went into a state of catatonia.
That's putting it lightly, Liam says to the side.
This was also the exact same time that he returned. Zoma Ashford.
Yes, accompanying the... Shortly after the departure of the witches, Soma had appeared with Katya in tow. He acted as if nothing had happened. Went back to moving with the group as if we'd not been apart at all.
You notice Katya is looking more and more upset as you're talking about this, but she doesn't say anything.
At this point is when I went missing. They tried to jail me, well, my fragmented self, but they escaped and made their way into the hunting grounds, I believe it was called.
Indeed. We departed shortly after Apollyon's escape in the intent of trying to sway one of the other kingdoms to our aid. We
Let me redirect you, Liam says, holding up a finger. The whole reason we left Sokolov in the first place is because they sent us on a little side quest, if you will. They all have this fucked up animal thing going on. Some curse from thousands of years ago, I guess, I don't know. And they asked us to try and fix it. Thought maybe there would be information in the center of the killing grounds. That's why we went to the castle. Apparently that's where the mess started.
Yes, and we wished to find a way to revert this curse because we believed it would help us deal with the disease as well. We departed on a flying machine constructed by Pidge and made it most of the way through the killing grounds, and having to use our feet to traverse the rest of the way.
And that's where we ran into him. He says, looking at Brian.
And
That's where
also
you ran into me.
we also ran into my siblings.
We ran into a lot
Alright,
of your
the
family. Apollo.
twins, Lunala says. Where are
Yes.
they anyways, Minerva adds?
To be honest, probably getting swayed and corrupted by my father, in which case we'll probably have to deal with and kill his soul eventually.
Great. It's all you like a collective in unison.
Apollo, and your family is just really fucked up constantly.
It gets worse. I'm still discovering new things about my bloodline.
I know, you really need to stop looking at your family tree, man.
I can't.
Stop, just stop it. Jesus.
So you guys went to the castle, Gabriel says, trying to get you on track.
Yes. Well, they did.
After inviting the other two to join our group, we made it to the castle, narrowly avoiding more danger. Upon entry, we met a stewardess. She was very old. I think she may have been a witch, although I'm not entirely certain.
We're gonna talk about the dragons, Samani says to the side. Because there were a lot
No.
of fucking dragons.
Nope.
That will be afterward. We managed to convince her to allow us audience with this king, who apparently had remained alive since the medieval era. Or perhaps even before then. We spoke with him. He told us a lot. He told us about the curse, how it began, who it affected, and pointed us in the right direction to trying to break it. He gave us these fragments, which had embedded themselves into each of the original individuals cursed. He only had 2, but he assured us there would be more within the original rulers of each of the houses. He beseeched that we attempt to aid them in breaking the curse, and granted us a means to get to the next kingdom. Medvedev, I believe. And
They're
that
people, Katya says under her breath.
Bear people.
and that means was a dragon. It took us just to the edge of the killing grounds, just outside the border, and Apollyon showed up.
More accurately, Astaroth, who had briefly taken over my body, put the main consciousness to sleep. He was stalking you all. He was waiting for Solvin to draw out the one he truly wanted.
Indeed. We exchanged words with Astaroth, and he threatened and promised many things before receding into the darkness. We continued our journey and came upon a ritual site, I suppose. A cave guarded by forest spirits.
That's where they made those things. The ones with
Yeah.
the masks.
The undead soldiers who partake in the wild hunt were created by sacrificing a willing participant to the individual within the cave. We witnessed it occur. I attempted to convince the participants to change his mind, but he was set in his ways. We spoke with the leader of these forest spirits after the ritual's conclusion, and gained more information regarding the curse, and reason to believe we could garner more information from the being within the cave itself. We were assured that we would not meet the same fate as the soldiers, so long as we were not willing to become one of them. And so we journeyed in, and we discovered a demon without a soul. Specifically, the soulless form of Apollyon's former love.
Wait, what?
Awkward, Liam says, glancing away.
We
Never told him about that.
No, you
No.
guys didn't tell him at all!
Yeah, sorry about that.
unfortunately, Apollyon, we didn't have time to discuss this. But
It's
now
it's okay.
Yeah, you were kind of tripping out, Minerva says.
I hold no grudges. I know what happened to her former vessel.
But now is the opportunity to share that information. Her husk had remained within that cave. I suppose that she wished to no longer be a demon and had worked with the Blood Witch to transfer her soul into a different vessel. But the process did not kill her former body, which means that it was left alive at the site it was abandoned in. The creature that remained was capable of extracting memories, either taking them outright or even drawing them out from the recesses of one's mind. It showed us many things a lot of us did not want to see, and also showed us many of its memories with Apollyon. I believe it's also where we got a great many things. And after we obtained all the information we could, we departed. And we were set to head to Medvedev. And our journey took us several days.
Things got a little wacky, Katya adds.
I think I remember seeing something like that in Soma's memories.
There was upon reaching the city, we experienced a lapse in time. We had been apparently targeted by another group within the Beastlands for a matter of political espionage. We were drugged, made to do things which I would not like to relive.
Made, Liam says, using, like, air quotes.
And framed for a crime we did not commit. The theft of a important religious artifact. We managed to convince the officials of the kingdom to allow us the opportunity to clear our own name. But Solon remained imprisoned, as he was the one who was tied with the crime itself. Upon further investigation, we discovered a trail of, frankly, rather clumsy attempts to cover up the incident, and discovered that this group was attempting to frame us in order for the king of the region to take the artifact. Apparently, he believed it would be important to helping deal with this disease and the curse which was affecting them. Apparently, the very land of Medvedev was effects of this disease, and it was beginning to spread. The king took the artifact and traveled with a small retinue, and in our journey we attempted to trail him. We spoke with the spirit of the kingdom, and it guided us to the point of infection. Upon arrival, upon traveling through the infected landscape, we discovered the king fighting for his life. His retinue had succumbed to the infection, and we joined in the battle. Eventually, upon rescuing the king, we discovered that he too was infected. He requested that we aid him in his travel to the tree in order to attempt to stop the curse. We weren't affected by it like he was. And he believed that we may be able to finish what he started. He traveled with us for a few days, but the infection was reaching a point where there was no way of stopping it, and he requested that I ensure that he did not succumb. So I put him to rest. Upon reaching the tree, we were separated. The structure itself appeared to have a mind of its own, and it seemed intent on trying to turn us against each other. It broadcasted manipulations of each other's thoughts and attempted to get us to fight each other. And it was quite effective. But we eventually reached the heart of the chamber, discovering the entombed remains of the original curse bearer, whom apparently was the source of the infection. We attempted to destroy the tomb in order to breach it and extract the infected shard, and the tree attempted to fight back. After some time, we managed to overcome it, but we were presented with a difficult choice. The tree was collapsing without a body to keep it stable. And if it were to fall, it would flood the entire lower levels of the kingdom, killing a great many people. Or we could entomb the young king, but the infection would continue to spread. Ultimately, it was decided that bringing the tree down was the best option. Pidge supplied a explosive device, and we demolished it to expedite the process. And we saw as the waters washed through the land. It was at this point, with all of us fighting one another, that myself and Katya encouraged Soma to admit to what had happened during his time away from the group. I'm sure that you all know more about the incident in Japan than we do, but he effectively admitted to playing a great deal in it. He lied a lot, but that much I was sure was true. It was at this point that I became possessed by a member of my family who was less the idea of forgiveness.
You see the general like cringe, like the like the fairy cringe from the anime. Like everybody just kind of does.
Polyon looks at him and says, Dante was acceptable.
No, Katya says no.
I did
He
kind of, let's say, humble him a little bit, or Astaroth did.
He's not my favorite ancestor, Minerva adds.
he is usually a lot more friendly when he isn't
Angry.
so angry. Yes. He has a difficulty connecting with people, I suppose. And well, I'm not very privy to what occurred during his stints. So I think someone else should probably fill me in.
Quick pause on you guys.
Uh-huh.
Anna, Faye, the storm has rolled in. It is pouring outside, but you are enjoying the atmosphere from the warmth of Roasted, the coffee shop in Death City.
I figured something to do with fire would be good for you.
I wasn't paying attention. What happened?
You guys are getting coffee. It's storming outside, and you are sitting with Anna, Warden, and Judah at the coffee shop.
Thank you.
There are other various students like hanging out or working on projects. Harper comes over with a cup of coffee for you, Anna, and sets it down in front of you.
Nice.
Your usual, she says, and turns around and walks back to the counter.
Thank you. Day.
Should we be concerned those people are literally on the lake in the middle of this? Warden says, taking a sip of her own coffee and glancing out the window.
I wish I was on a lake.
I don't think you want to be out there today, Judah adds. You do not want to be in the middle of that mess.
Fair enough. Do I
And
get
there's
coffee?
also the storm involved. Like, should you drink coffee? I have no idea. Let's see.
Yes.
Warden
Only
is
yet.
squinting at you. Are you sure that's a good idea?
Totally.
Alright, come on, Warden says, and grabs your arm and pulls you toward the counter.
Yeah.
I recommend double shot espresso.
This coffee shop is different. You approach the counter and you think you're gonna have to look at something to order. However, before you can, Harper looks up at you and focuses on you. Warden nods to her, and you feel as if she's staring into you, into your very soul. She
Faith is
nods
naked.
and turns around. I'll bring it to you.
Thanks.
Warden walks you back to the table, and as you sit down, she murmurs, "This place picks your coffee based on how your soul looks."
Ooh, I wonder what my.
I will make art for that.
Pretty sure that Lorenzo told me something about the little one. The one with the long red hair. Something about her being able to see souls and draw them. I don't know. Maybe she can help.
Speaking of souls, I have a picture of Anna's soul if you wanted me to send it in.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
Alright.
Is there anything you guys want to talk about while you're chilling at the coffee shop?
Besides catching things on fire, which seems to be a very common theme, what do you guys like to do here at the academy?
Well, most of the time, me and Warden avoid other people, so that's boring and sad. Love Warden, but people don't like me.
I lift weights, Warden says. Doesn't require spectators.
You
I
lift
run
in the
around
free
and-
weights?
Be crazy.
Well, now you have at least one friend.
Wow!
Right, Judah?
Judah sighs. Yeah, you got one. One single friend.
One's more than I've ever had. Apart from Warden. Sorry, Warden.
That's kind of sad, Judah says.
I have, at this moment, around 537 and a half friends.
How do you have half a
How do you
How
have
do you
a half
have
friend?
half a friend?
What happened to them?
They got the 50% discount.
Oh, do I get the 50% discount?
You become
Together we can make a whole 50 and 50. Be one whole friend.
To be clear, it's complicated.
Okay.
She doesn't do complicated, Warden says.
Complicated's too complicated for me.
Good to know. Just be careful around demons.
That's
What, you
a
mean
little
like
racist.
the
Why?
one that seems to live in the cabin with all the rest of our new friends? She says with air quotes.
I'd call that one Auntie Death's pet.
Damn.
That's a good word for it, Judah says it with an approving nod. I heard he was actually somebody else's
And if she
pet
approves of him,
before
I'll
then.
be okay.
I approve of everyone most of the time, despite my better judgment.
Pretty sure the Russian Death Scythe used to have him on a leash, Judah says, thinking for a moment.
Apollyon sneezes in the middle of the talk.
Sophia will remember that.
Like, I don't
You know-
really have a problem with demons in general, just the few that I've interacted with.
I do, Judah says. Agreed, Warden adds.
No, they're alright. They're all good.
They're just a little quirky.
Yeah, it's quirky.
the demons get,
Yeah.
get a little quirky at night.
Just a little quirky.
Apollyon does get quirky at
Napoleon's always quirky.
night.
Define quirky in this situation.
He gang stalks.
Buddy, same.
I'm gonna cut back over to the lake. So, Soma left the group, and Dante came out when Pridwin had his psychiatric break.
And then the gang stalker appeared.
And then Apollyon showed up and kidnapped Solon.
Yeah.
It's more than you'd think.
Let's go from there, Gabriel says.
Well,
So
whose perspective?
basically, Liam says, basically we had to go all the way back into the killing grounds to try and find Solon, who this asshole, not being himself, had kidnapped. Thanks a lot.
Apollyon's giving a thumbs up.
And he kind of fucked Solon up because Solon was trying to beat our asses too, which wasn't exactly great. And then the Blood Witch showed up, and it was just a whole thing. He was talking a whole lot of smack. It was really uncomfortable. And then they summoned this giant snake, which honestly, I don't even know where to begin with. And
That-
eventually we were sort of able to get him back to his at least normal weird capacity self. I
actually,
guess new and improved. He gives you like jazz fingers in your direction.
I was whole again for the first time in 25 years. The one with the red hair, that was just a just a fraction of myself. Personality is still the same, however.
Congratulations, Gabriel says snarkily in the background.
I finally got my good hair back.
So yeah, anyways, we got Solon back, we got Apollyon back, we got Pridwin sort of back to normal. We went back to Sokolov. He thinks for a minute.
We went to a party.
Yeah, that happened.
Yes. I met with the wolf himself. He was talking a lot of shit. And he threatened to kill me and everyone I know.
Oh, that happened to us too, Amani says.
Oh, well, would you look at that? Yes. Yeah, he specifically targeted me and Solon. Wanted us to watch as he killed all of you guys. And then he ran off as I was practicing, if you will. Oh, and I left a clone with the party.
Electo, Katya says under her breath. And he always said the same fucking thing over and over.
I didn't have time to program an actual personality into him, so I just went with that.
Don't ever do it again, Liam says, looking at you.
This time I'll program an actual personality. Next time.
Gross. And then there was that weasel dude Minerva adds. That one who was shady as fuck.
Oh, are you talking about the one that was persuading Solon to do things?
Yeah, that's him.
You mean the one who participated in the plot to drug us?
Less of it. To be fair, he did give us presents, Amaniat.
We got rewarded for it.
What are the
I-
consequences of those actions? I don't know, but hey, we got free shit. Free, Liam says in air quotes.
To be honest, sometimes making a deal with someone other than Devil can be worse than a deal.
So yeah, anyways, turns out that the wolf was like the leader of the entire house, which kind of sucked. But I mean, he couldn't kill us, so we went to this whole like lands meet thing and talked to the people in charge of the houses, I guess, question mark.
Very chaotic.
It was a lot, Minerva adds.
I sort of maybe blamed Yura, the Wolf of Moscow, for everything that's been going on. He didn't like that. The group of leaders kind of had an argument going on until they eventually took our side, sort of, kind of. It was kind of split.
Well, that dude kind of totally lost his shit and, you know, got yeeted out the portal. That
That's
helped,
true.
Minerva adds.
And then we met another wolf guy who was way more chill.
Right, the curse bearer. I almost forgot about him. How could I forget about the large dog?
He was a good boy.
Right, so basically, he kind of wanted Yuri out of the picture too. And so we went to go take him out of the picture. He shrugs. And we learned a whole lot of fucked up shit on the way. I think that was the point everything started to sort of make sense, Lunala interjects. Like, we started actually learning what the hell was going on the outside. If that makes sense. It wasn't great, though, she says, glancing at Pridwin. Considering... history.
Indeed.
Minerva slowly puts her head in her hands. We, learned a lot of fucked up shit, Liam says. And then the wolf showed up and tried to beat our asses. But we beat his first. And then another witch showed up and tried to beat our asses. And that sort of didn't suck, I guess. It could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse.
Right. When, after we defeated the wolf, a witch, no, the Hex Knights arrived seeking a rematch for a fight which played out back, probably about 300 years ago. She thrashed us rather handily up until Katia almost vaporized her.
Katya glances away.
But she seemed sated. And as such, decided to permit us to leave alive. And also promised us. Oh. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because Douglas is here. She also said that she would be joining us in our final fight.
Which, honestly, was a godsend.
We probably would have died.
Some of us did.
Well, it's more likely that a lot more of us would have.
So yeah, we, went back into the mainland and fought a witch. Fought a couple of them, actually.
Yes, after we'd finished dealing with the wolf, and I actually synthesized, well, reverse engineered a curative for the disease. I submitted it after we completed our mission. But we'd immunized ourselves against the disease and managed to make our way back into the main body of Russia, met up with a resistance force, and began our final assault. We took down their communications relay, wreaked havoc, and then
Rode a
Face-
whale?
rode a celestial whale,
Katya nods.
and we reached the hive, the witch's den, as it were. We traveled in and found Pidge, who had departed from our group previously due to the infighting. Apparently, she had joined with the witch with the hopes of acquiring more information. She engaged in human experimentation. According to her, it was 200 souls. I'm not sure if all 200 were innocent lives, but I can only speculate. We didn't have time to discuss it, considering matters were rather dire. She rejoined the group and we continued on. Apollyon was on a warpath and decided to venture deeper without us.
My fault, but I did know you guys would be right behind me.
You assumed we were.
We kind of found Solon's sister on the way. That wasn't great.
We found a lot of people on the way.
What a
Most of them were between the people set into the walls and the victims of the wolf. I performed a great many mercy killings. More than I actually could count. Fortunately, however, Solon's sister was not yet at a state as severe as the rest, and I managed to perform not a very clean or precise procedure, but one which was able to prevent the loss of her life. Unfortunately, her being infected with black blood and being as severely wounded as she was by the insects festering within her, I was worried she would not make it out of that hive.
So we stepped in.
Liam and Minerva escorted her out of the hive as the rest of us ventured further inward. We reached a surgical room, properly built, unlike the rest of the hive constructs. It was a quarantine room in the center of a large medical ward, containing the son of the witch, whom we had previously discovered was afflicted with a condition which set him with all possible diseases. Genetic, bacterial, fungal, so on and so forth. And upon reaching the room, the witch revealed herself. And we engaged in combat. We were holding our own. They were. It was a frightening battle, but we managed to avoid any serious wounds. The Hex Knight joined not too long into the conflict and managed to help keep her preoccupied. Towards the latter portion of the battle, when things began to become more dire, I summoned something from within myself, which my grandfather at Nolfo referred to as Typhon. It mauled the witch quite thoroughly, but we were still a long way from being able to bring her down. Pidge decided, for whatever reason, to imbibe in black blood. And in doing so, allowed the infection to consume her enough that it was able to bring harm to the witch. It connected itself to the witch. Pidge dropped a hand grenade down beside herself, and over the course of that and the Hex Knights, they brought the witch to her inn at the price of herself. I attempted to resuscitate the body, but knowing that was not going to be possible, I just worked on disinfecting it so that it would be safe to handle for proper burial. While I was attempting to do so, the rest of my compatriots looted her body.
In fact, Apollyon did not do that.
Solon did.
Solon did. I'm not happy with him about that.
Solon specifically, rather callously. I know people deal with grief in different ways, but I do not see his actions as being acceptable under any circumstances.
We can get into the emotions and feelings in a moment. Remember that this is supposed to be the facts.
My apologies. After dealing with Pidge, there was the matter of the witch's daughter, which Solon and Apollyon dealt with in their own way. And after that, there was the matter of the witch's son. He had been in a comatose state throughout the entire battle, and was still contained within the quarantine room. We debated on what to do for a while. I convinced them to allow me to attempt to provide some sort of medical aid. Ultimately, my intention was just to provide the boy with the choice of whether he wanted to continue living or not, I suppose. He had a history with a cursed individual we found who was trapped in the form of a stick. So I took him in, and the rest of the group, apart from Katya and Solon and Lunala, had departed. I took the precautions to avoid risking my own infection and entered the quarantine room with Driftwood. I awoke the boy and we conversed. We presented the options, and he made his choice. Driftwood. Driftwood was the one to do what needed to be done. I left the quarantine room and he performed the euthanasia. After that, apparently the resistance forces had rigged the hive to explode, and we needed to leave. I gathered Driftwood and the rest of my group that was remaining, and we exited. Getting back on the whale and leaving the hive. It was at that point we were reunited with the rest of our group, and upon landing, we met back with you. I think that's everything, at least everything that I can remember that's pertinent.
I believe you're right on it.
Jen nods and lowers her pen for a moment, looking at all of the notes that she's written. If we're done with the facts, now we can get into the reactions and the symptoms of what happened. I want you, each of you individually, to tell me what were the worst things that happened in this, and how have they affected you? I know it's not an easy question, but in order for this to really do good for you, you need to ask this question of yourself. What were the worst parts of this? What hurt the most? Do I gotta say it? Liam says.
I was hoping to save my thoughts for later, but I
Fine.
suppose.
I'll start. Liam leans forward. It was really fucked up how much fighting's been going on in this group. I mean, like, it was a little tense here and there before, but it got bad. And the shit started to get worse when Solon took that fucking scroll. He rubs at his temples. I mean, that was pretty much it. That was the straw that broke the back, so to speak. Nobody wanted to trust anybody. And then Apollyon goes all batshit crazy, starts kidnapping people. We got Soma over here who we find out basically is responsible for millions of people dying. And we can't trust a word he says. We got Pridwin shutting himself off and bringing out an ancestor who, quite frankly, was not my favorite person in the world. I don't think things have ever been so tense. This is why I don't do friends. This is why I used to avoid people like the plague. I didn't want to deal with this. For once in my life, I thought I felt like I had a family. I didn't know what that felt like for a long time. And this whole mission, it was like I was watching my family get torn apart over and over again. And then right at the end fight, the whole time I'm worried about losing. He cuts himself off, glancing at Minerva and then looking away. That shit scared me. It was so much easier when I didn't have to worry about anybody but my damn self. Now I got all of you assholes. And I don't know how to explain, but it's messing with me. I guess my biggest issue is the shit that happened at Bouillon, Minerva says. I mean, she looks at Pridwin. My family was responsible. I mean, even if it was just in part, we were fucking responsible for this. How many people died because of what Taurus did? I can't just get over that, and it's not guilt, so to speak. It's not like I feel like I did something wrong, but it still feels like I did something wrong. And then we had to sit there and see what they did to those people, the hives and those experiments and the hosts, and it was awful. But it was nowhere near as bad as what that so-called mother was doing to her own son. Shit was fucked up.
For me, it was an experience I've never had before, of reconciling with the change that those I once knew went through. Yara, the wolf. I had to come to terms with the change that he had went through, what could have brought him to that state. I once knew him as someone better, someone who wouldn't do the things he did now. And I made irrational choices after we fought him. That I apologized. It's just seeing someone you once knew, cared for, and loved as family changing into a monster, it was hard to come to terms with.
Kind of feels like our whole world got flipped upside down, Amani says. I mean,
I didn't even know you people. Me and Brian, we just were on a boat, just doing our own little mission. We had no idea how fucked up things had gotten. In Russia, much less anywhere else. It's easy to ignore it when you can confine the edges of your world to the sides of the ship. But, I mean, you spend your whole life on a ship and it gets hard to walk on land, and now we're here, and it feels like nothing's ever gonna be the same again. I don't know, maybe I just don't like change. But I think the worst part of it is I feel like we gave up. I know that we made the choice we had to, and I know it was the right choice, but there's this part of me that feels like we left those people back there with this curse. We said we were gonna help them. We said that we could fix it, and then we left them worse than when we got there. I can't stop myself from feeling like we let them down. Like, maybe we could have fixed it, you know? But I don't know, it just doesn't feel right leaving it like that. You know?
That feeling of powerlessness that overcomes you. I know it too well. The feeling that there's nothing you can do, that no matter what action you take, you can't change what is bound to happen.
Speaking of powerless, Linol adds, taking that tree down was hard. I mean, again, I know that I believe, I have to believe that we made the right choice there. But sitting there and watching that wave move was like when you're in the middle of a car accident and you don't have any control, you're just a passenger, you're just watching it happen. Sort of an out-of-body experience. It was awful, knowing that I was part of that. I helped make that choice. Now all those people are dead because of me. Like, maybe if I had been stronger or smarter, we could have come up with a better solution. I guess it's just hard that way. I find myself constantly in that spot, thinking if I was more capable, maybe we could have saved the kid. Maybe we could have saved those millions of people. Maybe we could have done something to keep Pidge from doing what she did. But we didn't. Here we are.
Some people, when they break down, they are unable to recover what they lost. I've learned this through excessive hardship over the course of this mission. The wolf, once a paragon of my own family, then Soma, and many others lost in their ways. with no one to guide them, or those who failed to guide them. I feel that guilt. I wish I had done better with Soma. The floor is open to any who haven't spoken yet.
Katya's rubbing at her eyes, trying to hide her face in her knees. It's not bad enough that I had to be here for all of this. I had to be there for Japan too. And I still don't even know what actually happened. I mean, Soma said what he said. But does anybody even trust a word that comes out of his mouth anymore? I don't know where my mom is. I don't know where my dad is. There's millions of people that are dead, and I probably could have fixed it. But I wasn't there. And in Russia, thousands of more people died. And I wasn't able to stop that either. The cowboy was right. I don't have any control. I just keep losing control of myself, and it's just gonna get worse.
Well, if there's anything I can try to, what's the word, help you with.
You can't fix this.
Sometimes we all lose control. And sometimes we make big fuck-ups. I mean, you're looking at the king of fuck-up here. And sometimes we aren't meant to have control. We just have to guide ourselves.
She rubs at her eyes some more furiously. I'm with Liam, though. This family is tearing itself apart. And I'm tired of everybody acting like it's not happening. I mean, watching you guys rifle through Pidge's stuff after she died. Like it didn't even happen. I could have killed all of you. And you guys were just standing there screaming at each other. Why did I have to stop you? I'm 10. I shouldn't have to be getting in between you people. You're supposed to be protecting me, not the other way around. I don't know, I'm just... She rubs at her eyes again, burying her face in her knees.
disappointed. And there are still two of you who haven't said anything.
I guess I'll go next. So during our final battle, Pidge had the grenade, as you know, right? I gave her that grenade. And you would think being in the Navy would mean you see a lot of your teammates just die? But it's actually quite the opposite, because I don't know about everyone else in the Navy, but my action never really resulted in the consequences of my teammates dying in front of me. So that's kind of fucked.
To be honest, I kind of think Brian had the worst of that.
Yeah, because I had met you all after the ship we went surveying and got destroyed by a fucking beaver shark. And so it's like I grew to know you guys and trust you, and to see one of you just fucking be gone that quickly like nothing is just kind of fucked up.
Broadwin, Gabriel says, looking at you. You've held your tongue.
I'm not even sure where to begin. Across this entire mission, it feels like it's been nothing. Tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. I lost my trust in my group. I lost friends. I lost I feel as though I've failed in every possible respect. Again and again and again, this group has crumbled into chaos, and over and over and over again, everyone we seemed to meet constantly telling me that I'm supposed to be leading this group, that I'm supposed to be keeping everyone together, that I'm supposed to guide. And yet, I can't. I couldn't keep the group together. I couldn't maintain trust or the deeper in we got, the worse things got. I tried again and again so many different things to try to be a leader, be what I'm supposed to be, but there were so many innocent lives lost, some of them beyond our control, some of them by my own hands. And after after everything, I just got angrier, more afraid, and I felt powerless. I felt powerless to keep the group from falling in on itself. I felt powerless to try and maintain control over situations we put ourselves in and continuing the missions we were trying to undergo. I couldn't even keep control over myself. I had that taken from me. Not just once, but twice. And throughout all of it, all it seemed I could do right was just killing things. I took so many more lives with my own two hands than I even tried to save. Beyond just the mercy killings, beyond the things we shared a direct culpability for. I can barely keep this group alive. The skills I have been trying to train for a lifetime are shoddy at best. I failed not just to maintain the mental well-being of this group, but the physical well-being. I hurt everyone at least once. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. I barely even know who I am anymore. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel less than useless. I feel like a liability. I feel like every good deed I've done, every successful attempt I've made has been completely undone by 100 failures. And after seeing Taros and what he did and all of those memories, I see all of that anger and hate. And I'm afraid of succumbing to that same thing. And the actions that I've taken, the decisions I made, I ripped my own father's weapon out of myself because I was tired of listening to this group bicker. I don't. I suppose it's not that I'm afraid of what I'm becoming, but I've already crossed the line. That whatever I am, not only is it not what I was, but it's not what I've been trying to be, not I'm more afraid that it's not that this isn't me, but that this is. That all I'm good for is just reducing any inconvenience to ash. I, beyond all of my frustrations with everyone else, I feel as though that's the core of it. I'm something horrible. I don't know how to change that.
I think I understand a little bit. Back before I became whole again, the me you know now, I felt like I was just in the back seat watching as something else took the wheel and acted on my behalf. For 2 decades it was me not being in control of myself. So many versions of me spread across the world. One, a host of deceit, the other, madness, and finally, the one you knew, with their red hair, and with them Abaddon. All who robbed control from me. I felt angry. I did not want to become a monster as some of my fragments wished to be. But in the end, all of you saved me, and I am eternally grateful for everything you've done. It was terrifying. First time I felt terrified in a long time. Terrified that I would hurt those I wished to protect, and to commit even greater atrocities in the name of madness and strength and power, all of which I strictly opposed having too much of. I felt like I was becoming a monster, robbed of everything that I once was, robbed of my family and my friends. I didn't want to become someone new, someone that could not be recognized by those I cared about.
That's the worst part, Apollyon. It isn't that I feel I've lost control. I feel as though I am me. These are my hands. These are my actions. These are my evils. My failure.
You were always your harshest critic. I'm nervous looking at you. You've always been so hard on yourself, trying to be the best thing that you can be, trying to take care of everyone else, and not worrying about taking care of yourself. But I don't think any of us are confused about who you are, even if you seem to be right now.
Pridwin, I know we had our disagreements, and I know you weren't happy with me. But it is true, beyond true, that I have always seen you as my closest friend. Someone that was there when I had no one else. Despite our differences, you saw through at least some of the good left in me after what happened to me all those years ago. I see you, and it makes me want to learn from humanity. See if I even have it in me despite being a devil. I don't always understand the rules and customs humans normally have, so I take actions that may be looked down upon because I came up differently. But you have always taught me to be better, and for that I have a lot of gratitude.
It means a lot.
Out of all of us, you are very much the most human. And for all of you who have stuck around despite all of this chaos, yes, we've all fought, made mistakes, done things we wish we had never done, been through things we wish we could forget. But the thing that sets us all apart is that we never gave up. You were all braver than probably anyone I've ever met. You are all strong, stronger than you think you are. And I am proud to have met you all.
You gotta quit bullying yourself, man, Liam says, leaning back. I mean, I get it. You don't feel like you're living up to the expectation that either you set for yourself or someone else set for you. Believe me, I know what that's like. Hell, I've been avoiding living up to my family's expectations and my own
long before I ever met any of you. But that's the thing about growing up. Expectations change. You grow. You walk one path and find out it doesn't fit for you, and you start walking another. Even if you're not what you feel like you're supposed to be right now, hell, maybe it's not such a bad thing in the long run. You're just growing and changing. So what if you have to put a little more effort into bringing back out the qualities that you want in yourself? It's just a little hard work. It's not like any of us are gonna look at you differently for that. Hell, we all have shit to work on. This group is batshit crazy at times. Yeah, we're a little chaotic, and yeah, we like to hurt each other when we're feeling down, and sometimes we don't plan things out very well, and we end up knocking our heads together, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is you keep getting back up. You keep trying to build trust in the people around you, and you keep walking. You don't quit.
Let what happened to us and the results of what happened to Soma be a cautionary tale. We're better, and we always have been. And we learn. And we have each other's backs, always.
I know I said some hurtful shit to you. And I mean, like, really hurtful.
Katya glances away sheepishly.
But I like you. You're my bestest friend. And you and Nala take care of me. Even when I don't want you to. And even when I push you away, you're patient. And you wait for me to figure it out and come back so you can keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. And yeah, stuff was messed up. And it was a lot harder than anything that most of us have ever done. But I still wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't. I don't think I would change it if I had the choice.
Plus, who's gonna make a mean horse pasta like you can? I don't think anyone can.
And I kind of need you at least sort of okay when you're my best man.
And plus, I need someone to torment.
Oh, don't worry, I've already got 200 or so. You guys hear that?
Hear what?
Screams howling in her sleep.
It was like a full wolf at the moon howl.
Yeah.
Fredwin says, I'm going to continue to try. It isn't in my blood to lay down and accept things for how they are. I care a lot about this group, and I'm tired of losing people.
I agree. We need to stick together, protect each other, and, well, I'm not gonna ever let you leave the party, Pridwin, even if you wanted to. Even if you were on your last legs and going to die, I would still drag you back from hell.
If I may, Gabriel interjects. I feel that part of the fact this all came to a head is the fact that you all aren't communicating with each other. Is that the vibe I'm getting? Jen nods.
They're not the best at that. I'm good with my feelings, not as great with the whole other communication stuff. Actually, not good with my feelings either, just secrets.
So maybe we don't hide things from each other anymore. Maybe we strive to make an effort to share how we're feeling and how certain actions are affecting us before they get to this breaking point.
I think that's a good idea.
Indeed.
And I don't know what that needs to look like. I don't know if you need to set something into place where you all have a meeting at the end of the day before you go to bed and make sure that you're good, but I think you guys need to be checking on each other. I mean, I wasn't there. This is an outside perspective, but it sounds to me like you guys weren't taking care of yourselves or each other. You were going through the motions and acting like it, but you guys, for all intents and purposes, are a family. You need to act like one.
I tried, at least in the beginning. I got overwhelmed and preoccupied, and I allowed myself to stop trying to communicate.
You know what? Linola says. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too.
And me.
And me.
And me.
I mean,
I'm
we've...
sorry.
Well, thankfully, Brian, you haven't done too much to try to, kill us.
Well, yeah, I pulled any somewhere or anything.
If anything, we're sorry to you.
Trust me, I prefer being with you guys over sitting on a ship.
That's fair. I mean, in the end, we somehow got this far without being able to communicate with each other. Imagine if we could put our heads together properly.
Yeah, no shit, that'd be crazy. It'd genuinely be unstoppable.
Man, Liam says, rubbing the back of his neck. We suck.
I
we're
mean, we've
terrible.
killed a total of about 4 witches.
We're doing better than most, probably.
True.
I don't think anyone of our ranking has ever gotten that many.
I believe that.
Well, there have been a few, Gabriel says, like off to the side, but that's neither here nor there.
But who else has ended a bloodline?
I feel that a lot of the tension has finally been released, Jen says to you all. Now we've entered the time of closure and re-entry. Is there anything else that anyone would like to share? Any questions that anyone would like to ask?
I wanted to apologize and explain myself for the actions I took back in Russia. Though, I will have to give Solon a talking to next time I see him for immediately going in for the kill. However, I wanted to explain my actions and apologize to Pridwin. I don't understand the rules and concepts many humans have created, as I've stated before, and I make decisions based on what I know purely. I went for the kill on the witch purely because of I wanted to protect you all. I knew she would become a threat. A demon and a witch put together is already dangerous enough, but that blood of a demon mixed with a thirst for vengeance is something that cannot be risked. And I was in no position to take any risks. But I should have colluded with you all first. And I'm sorry.
You need not apologize to me. I recognized the judgments you made, and it was probably I suppose it wasn't so much the action itself which bothered me, and more at least what I perceived to be the intention behind it.
That is fair. While there was a bit of selfishness in the act, it was also because I wanted to protect all of you, and as well, he sort of chokes on his words for a moment. My daughters.
You do keep mentioning that you have children.
Yes.
I mean, he's
And-
tried to fuck every single witch that we've come across. Is that really surprising to you at this point?
I've always assumed that he's had children in the past, but I didn't know how. He's several thousand years old, at least. I wasn't sure how recent or alive those children might have been.
Well, they are alive, which now fills me with great hope. A letter was sent to death from my twin daughters, and I've been assured that they are safe and will contact me someday. And recently, yes, it was within the... How many years ago was... 30-something years ago?
Oh,
Though they are demons, so they age differently. They look more like they're in their 20s.
that does make sense.
You might get along
Right.
with Rubido. Albedo, not sure.
Well, as long as they do not attempt to murder us, I'm
I'm
sure
pretty
we'll
sure they
get
won't.
along swimmingly.
I think I taught them well. Rubido's more your speed, the warrior type. Albedo's more, well, she's just lazy.
I see.
And my technically sort of adopted son, Vestian, well, he was the one that Yura killed. And he was the spear. So there was a little bit of frustration when I committed the act, but, you know.
Like I said, I can understand. It was everything we've all been through has been beyond emotionally taxing.
True.
Allowing the tension to build up for so long like that, it's no wonder you all snapped. Something that may not have affected you as deeply or as strongly under normal conditions is enough to bring one to fight in others. Trauma affects everyone differently. And I want to make sure that you all know that Sister and I are here to help you heal and work through whatever is happening. Should you not feel like this is enough, should you have questions, should you find yourself unable to sleep, her eyes drift toward Liam. In the middle of the night, waking up, remembering, we're here.
And, well, I can't have my students go offing themselves.
Alright, they made you a professor, Liam says under his breath.
This is news to Pridwin.
I cannot possibly comprehend why, with all due respect, I cannot possibly comprehend why Lady Death would consider you safe to be a teacher.
No
I get
one knows
results.
that, Professor.
Hey, I did
An
pretty well.
advisory role perhaps, but a teacher.
Full-blown professor.
1,000 years of demon slaying experience is very persuasive. I think Brian died.
He's just getting slowly sucked into the storm outside of the safe zone.
He's just slowly sinking into the water.
The water walking wears off and he just falls straight in.
Live again.
Hello.
Hello. Did I die or something?
Yeah, your voice slowly faded out.
Well, that's fine. There's a cat sitting on the face and hope.
I mean, I held a lesson yesterday and Brian took pretty well to it. I think.
Yes, I heard you were scouting some new potential group members, Gabriel says.
Yes, one of them was the fiery type, so I'm very much paying very close attention to her, specifically for that reason. She also, she's the fiery type.
I didn't even realize we had new members joining us.
Possibly.
You were trying to clean your armor, Lunala reminds you.
And failing. I can tell.
Fredwin adjusting his armor, another plate from his shoulder falling off into the water.
We'll get it fixed, Lunala says, patting your shoulder.
I think you're gonna need to burn it down and get some new ones.
Or that. I'm sure your siblings would be, capable.
They've been hard at work at some armor.
They did say that they would probably need to start anew with this.
Oh yeah, Pridwin, something interesting happened this morning. Okay, so apparently there are two other rhizostomas in our cabin. I left my room this morning, and one of them was literally outside the door and just started taking measurements of me. What the hell is
You're-
that about? Do you know?
You're referring to my younger siblings,
Yes.
and one
I
of them
didn't do it,
stayed.
Minerva says.
No,
And
no, it was a
one.
dude.
Oh, you're talking about. So, what was he measuring? He
I
wasn't measuring your neck,
bro,
was he?
like measuring measuring my arms with like a tape measure, like how you would measure someone to like fit them for clothes or some shit.
Well, he is an armorer. As long as he's not making a noose for you.
Well, he was sort of, you know, Brian, you were whining about not having a coat for the day.
Oh, this is okay. It was cold, all right. Fuck off. I'm used to like I'm used to like 80-degree days on the normal. It's like at least 70 or 65. I don't fucking know.
I like
Doesn't
the
it get
cold.
extremely cold and windy in the open ocean?
Actually, no. You would think it would be. It's not.
Shouldn't it? I feel like it would.
No.
He's from the south. It's
Yeah.
hot all the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
This,
Stay
I
usually
see.
around the equator.
Ah,
That would explain it.
that would explain it. What were you doing in Russia?
Kind of a long story, Imani says.
Actually, not really. We got a mission to go check out why other ships were going missing, and then we got attacked by a beaver shark. Ended up in the middle of Russia. Don't know how. There we were.
I mean, hey, we figured out why the ships were going missing at the very least.
Would you like
Just-
cold temperature training? I can help with that.
Seeing you all being like this gives me faith that you'll be alright. Jen stands up on the surface of the water. I do believe this meeting is drawing to a close. Again, should you need us, we will be where you can find all of your professors. Gabriel kind of nods to the rest of you. I think the people you were talking about, I think they might do you guys some good. Just go easy on them, okay?
Will do. Also, Apollyon begins whispering to Gabriel. I believe the fiery one, I'm going to have to train her more, because I am very afraid she is a little too much like Soma.
Yeah, I wondered about that. You all begin making your way towards the shoreline. The storm outside is howling. You think it's been hailing at some point, but you've all been so focused on the conversation that you didn't notice it, but now the rain is pelting this sort of sphere that surrounds all of you. As you step back on the shore, it remains. Jen walking with you all the way back to the cabin, ushering you guys in the door before she finally dissipates whatever this barrier is. You all find yourselves standing in the main living area of the cabin. Right. Take care of yourselves. And thank you for being willing to talk. She turns around. She and sister begin walking in the rain, unshielded, as if they're enjoying it. Gabriel kind of stands there for a moment. Well, it sounds like, based on the sounds coming out of the kitchen, that, my niece is in there. So, this would be a good time for you guys to meet the newbies, I guess, Gabriel says, patting you on the shoulder, Pridwin, and then turning for the door.
Good luck, Pridwin.
Yeah,
I
you'll
look
need
like
it.
a mess.
You
Here,
look like you
Pridwin,
need
I'll
a
help
really
I'll help you
badly.
crawl in through the window so you can get new armor.
Maybe if we just sneak down the hallway, they won't notice us.
I can distract them. Give me a minute.
You say this, and you turn around, and the rhizostoma is back, Brian.
God, hi.
He's looking at you. And you see from behind him another person pokes their head out. This one is a teensy bit shorter, also wearing similar armor. Her long
what is
blue
this
hair
going on?
curled.
Bring help. They're just staring at me. I don't know what to do.
They not.
The girl reaching behind her holds something out to you, Brian.
I don't know why my internet hates me today. Anyways, hello again.
You are handed a
Hello.
package by the smaller one from around her brother.
Thank you. Brian's gonna go to open it.
You look down at the package. It is very delicately wrapped, and you start to open it, and there is a fully customized Letterman's jacket.
Oh, today's a good day. Brian's gonna put it on.
You pull it out, and it has redacted across the back with some different types of symbols and stuff on it. And as you pull it on, it fits you perfectly.
Brian is gonna look at the two rhizostomas and say, "Thank you very much."
You look back up to say this, and they're gone.
God damn it! Griffin, are you siblings just ninjas? What is this?
So, Brian, have you ever watched The Shining?
No. No, I have not.
I recommend you watch and prepare yourself.
Okay, wait. Above there, is the Shining actually good?
It's a classic. I don't know how you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, bro.
You have seen
I
it?
don't watch a whole ton of horror movies.
I will
Yeah.
make him watch it.
Thank
It
you.
is among the best.
It's such a classic, man.
Yeah.
As you guys are all standing there, Anna, you have heard a lot of voices come in at once.
Go through the window. I hear them coming.
Oh, is everyone back?
Hey, who wants bacon? Or to blow something up?
I think I forgot. How do you guys feel about spicy curry?
Yes.
I could
Extra
get down with
spicy.
some curry.
The answer is yes.
Okay, good, because I've got a bunch of plates, but I need...
What? Oh
What do
no,
you
did
need?
I?
What do you
I
need?
need to go...
I need.
What do you need?
Hey,
I forgot my special ingredient. I'll be back.
is it chili powder?
Yeah, so, Pridwin especially, you see this bouncy, radiant, tall girl that you have never seen before. And she's just positively glowing as she darts out the door to go find this special ingredient. You also see another girl with a lot of colors in her hair, looking very edgy, off in the corner next to a third girl who is wearing armor that looks interesting to you. And then there's Faye, who I'm imagining is doing something in the kitchen.
All the things.
Hello?
All the steps and all the things.
If it isn't my favorite, totally not terrifying student.
Well, hi!
The
You almost
unsubtle
made Oh yeah, Pridwin. Faye and I almost made the crater more crater-y.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Here, I'll send the Art of Fae just so it's in there, and then
Yeah, we're gonna have to get our character sheet up.
yeah, this is the Fae.
Yeah, kinda. I kinda made a tornado, and then she set the tornado on fire.
They
Well, I
almost
guess-
created they almost created a double crater.
Yeah. We almost
That
created
is-
crater squared.
That is horrifying.
Yes.
It was awesome.
They almost reenacted Soma creating the crater.
Yeah, I made
No.
a giant ass storm, and then that one Brian points to Warden.
I lit it on fire. I what?
Made that one Faye light it on fire, which was fucking epic. And then I got heartburn because I was told to knock it off, and that was fun.
It was rather impressive.
Well, I am glad that you actually found the restraint to not blow up
Already doing better
the
than Soma
crater
did.
again.
I was tempted to, but then I didn't really want to blow all of us up with that. So
Also, me and Iger would have beat the shit out of you.
that would have been really entertaining.
It would be entertaining to you to get the shit beat out of you.
Yeah.
Masochism? Question mark.
I think so. I mean, he did get his ass beat by Soma in the last mission, and he was totally fine with it.
Oh, interesting.
To be fair, I was not paying half as much attention.
Yeah.
The door quickly opens and closes behind you as Anna skitters back in with a bundle in her arm.
It's just the bottle.
What's in the bottle?
Roasted patented habanero pepper spice
Oh, boy.
sauce.
Oh, I'm excited to try this. Brian is gonna follow Anna to the kitchen.
Should we be concerned about the fire wielder eating spicy food?
Yes.
No.
I
No.
am worried about an explosion.
That's what I'm worried about,
I
Liam
think we
says.
should be
Maybe we
worried
should make
about
her
the
eat on the
fart.
roof.
An explosion of flavor.
I think she should eat in
That
the crater.
actually caused an explosion.
Probably. I'm not
All
going
the
to risk it.
explosions. Never
Are we
enough.
talking about
Okay.
I
explosions
don't know,
here?
I've
I thought it
seen
was just
some
food.
fire wielders sneeze and make little mini craters before, so, like, you know.
I'd like to hear that story sometime.
The whole
You never talk to me.
fucking hole.
You know what? How
Yeah,
about we all
well,
go eat?
Judah beat the shit out of me like 4 or 5 times, so... Judah is standing off in the corner and she raises a hand in your direction, Pridwin. Hey. Sorry, don't mind them. Warden
I have a-
also offers a soft, shy wave at you. As she
I have a-
does, you catch the symbol on her, vanguard.
Oh.
Edwin, it does a polite bow, and he says, "It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Oh, that's my siblings' work.
Yeah, they're kind of the reason we're here. Sorry to crash your house.
Oh no, you're more than welcome. I hope they didn't charge you too much."
I have a fantastic idea. What if we all go eat in the crater?
It's
Yeah.
pouring down rain, Apollyon, Minerva says to you.
That
It'll
might
be a
make the
lake.
fire wielders explode stuff less.
It's better that the fire user is eating spicy stuff inside the.
He's
Inside the
literally
portable-
hailing right now. Like, I know.
Since Brian's a storm user, can he just like make the storm stop?
No.
No.
Unfortunately, you do not have weather control. Not total weather control.
That is a continental level
You
feat.
can make, yeah, I was gonna say, you may be able to figure out how to make a storm start. Sort of. But you definitely cannot make one stop.
Maybe you could like create a small pocket of no storm.
I could like in a small pocket of maybe No hail, at least.
Dear God.
With wind, I don't know.
Also,
wind
BRB.
Oh, okay.
The soup!
Adios.
The soup!
Soup.
You
The
gotta
soup?
stir it!
The
It's
soup?
gotta be stirred!
Good soup.
I'm not soup.
Just give me the soup in a package. I
But
would
yeah.
like to try some.
So you all meeting each other, and after this long and heavy conversation that you've been having, you all eventually get your own bowls and plates of curry. You kind of sit down, some of you in the living area, some of you in the kitchen, some of you just standing about, and you eat a meal together, which is the final step of re-entry.
Huh.
And you act
Apolli-
like a family.
For the first time. In
First
like
time
2
in a
years.
long time.
I just realized Apollyon perks up and he says, you know, I believe there's something like some sort of tournament happening soon. I need to whip you all into shape.
Oh god, why tournament?
They
During
have
this
been
whole-
posting about it quite a bit, Judah says from the side.
I heard some whispers from the other professors.
I volunteer to not enter.
Don't
You're
say
going
the
to
other
enter.
professors, Warden says to you.
You are all going to be trained by me in my elect.
Absolutely not. Warden
I've
says.
already forged your signatures.
You can't do that. Can he do that? She says to Judah.
He couldn't
can't
do it
prove
to
I
me
didn't.
because I've already signed up.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
Yay! Time!
I've already signed you up on this piece of paper. He pulls out a piece of paper.
Brian's gonna arrange.
You are now officially. Oh wait, what?
I said Brian casts solar ray on the piece of paper.
God.
Well, I'm lucky I printed like 100 of these.
No evidence. None.
Backups for your backups.
Too
You think I
bad,
wouldn't
it's
think
on
about-
digital. Pulls out phone.
2 people here can use fire. I'm not going to take the risk of you burning the hundreds of these that I printed. And also, the library ran out of printer ink.
God.
Brian's gonna
Oh,
look at
please
and say,
don't tell
"No."
me you just left it like that, Judah says, looking at you with concern. Oh, my aunt is gonna kill you, she says, putting her face in her hand.
Well,
I don't
they'll
think
never
you
know it
should
was
do
me
that.
because I disguised myself as Liam.
Oh, Jesus.
Wait a minute, he says, putting his
Someone
spoon
should
down.
warn Liam.
Hold on! She already hates me, don't you tell me that!
Well, it's too late. You were on the cameras.
You could have dressed up. You could have transformed into me. They don't know me.
I could have sworn I remember an
Literally.
incident a few months ago involving two students trying to steal a book from the library. Are we talking about?
Well, there was the time that Soma assaulted the librarian.
You talking
You know,
about...
sometimes that doesn't surprise me for Soma.
Listen,
I just
Soma
remember-
just did a lot of things that we don't talk about, okay? Liam says.
That is true.
Katya is sitting in the corner, like eating her curry on a conspicuous coffee table. But at the
The
mention
coffee
of
table.
Soma, she just slowly like lowers her spoon.
I feel like I have said something I was not supposed to.
Katya will remember that. Well, anyway, on to other news. Let's see. Well, you guys are all now official members of my demon slaying class, so I hope you look forward to that.
God damn it.
He's being
hold on.
serious, Judah says.
Hold on. We're a part of a demon slaying class, and you're a demon?
Yes.
Who better to teach us, I guess, Warden says uncomfortably.
True! Very true. Didn't think of that.
He could
And
teach us
Pridwin will
all
be
the weak
my-
points.
Pridwin will be my TA, also.
Oh,
Yes, and then we can test the demon killing methods on him.
Well, I can. Oh, well, I can also just summon demons for you to kill.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you-
then
you
you
want-
won't get
Trying
hurt.
to kill
Yeah.
you.
You want me to be your teacher's assistant?
Yes.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
This seems like a
Yes.
terrible
Mm.
idea, Lunala says.
I mean,
Lucky.
let's be
You could-
honest. Depending on how badly Apollyon fucks us up, you can heal us, Bridwin. So
That, and also you can teach people how to not die.
I do know actual medieval martial arts, but still, I am concerned about the idea of having to clean up your mess if you accidentally summon hordes of demons.
Not hordes.
Not dying is very important.
Specifically, I'm more concerned about how individuals such as Isadora might react to that.
Well, I could also just summon shadows, which are just basically demons, but not without a soul.
what Isadora doesn't know won't hurt her. I don't know who that is.
Snitches get
She's-
stitches and wind up in ditches.
She sees everything I see, so she's going to know.
She's gonna know!
Just close your eyes, Bridwin.
Well,
Just close your eyes.
as long as we kill the demon, it'll go fine.
Exactly.
She's amongst the ghosts which haunt me, and
Have you
she
run
very
this
much
by
does not like
Gabriel?
Apollyon.
Yeah, that's true.
This a little racist, man. This a little racist.
Well,
Oh,
it's
God,
not
no.
exactly.
It's
It's a-
It's not the fact that he's a demon, it's the fact that they have prior history which she is not willing to
Oh.
divulge to me.
I used to flirt
Oh,
with
so
her.
they're just not friends.
You used to
Well-
what?
They're just
Huh?
not friends. Rather unfriendly. Okay, I got it.
Very.
Well, she was unfriendly towards me. I was very friendly.
Apollyon.
I'm sorry, you used to walk with her?
No. And you wonder why she doesn't like you.
Well, I've met a lot of his
Fredwin-
bloodlines, specifically the women.
And we're surprised by any of this, Liam says, taking another bite.
No,
I'm
Liam.
getting-
Honestly, this is the most expected thing all day.
I'm honestly getting the impression that Pridwin's family line is riddled with a bunch of encounters with Apollyon.
Yes.
They
Yes.
all
From what I understand.
have.
Yes.
A good chunk of them have personal stories to tell about him.
Indeed.
Speaking of
If I ever need to
families,
start on Apollyon, I know who to go to.
Minerva looks at you, Apollyon. Where the hell is Solon at?
Oh, I have no idea.
Ah, the cats are messing with my dice. God damn it.
I will be giving him a talking to, though.
If I were to guess, I would assume that he'd probably be worried about his sister.
About that. Me and Gabriel have not seen him on campus at all.
He's not on
God,
campus.
that's not a true statement. You have not seen him on campus at all. Gabriel knows where he is.
Well, regardless, I have not seen him.
Bridwin,
Is
roll a
long-
memory check.
Oh, okay. Hang on, I don't have
Or
dice.
do I need to roll a memory check for you?
I can use the digital. Hang on. I need to open it first.
What?
There we go. 16?
Pridwin, you did not ever see Solon. In the last 2 days, you have not seen him in the cabin or anywhere on campus. And with that roll, you don't remember seeing him leave quarantine.
Solon is
still-
just getting fun.
Could still be in quarantine. I'm not sure entirely why, per se. I'm assuming that it's to do with his sister.
Maybe he got the COVID.
Oh, there are much worse things.
Yes, so some of us did contract the Black Death, so.
Several of us contracted a lot of really bad things on that last mission, Liam says under his breath.
Yep. Yep. I
You look
contracted the beast scourge.
really weird as a furry, he says to you, Brian.
Furry?
Yeah, talk about that, okay? Let's
The
not.
furries?
I feel like we should talk about it. I feel like it needs to be talked about.
He kind of infected himself with the horrible lycanthropic disease we were dealing with while he was looting corpses.
Yeah.
Looting corpses. Why? No.
And then he
I
tried to eat
wanted
money.
Their money.
Ew!
I feel like
I
I've
wanted
made a
their
terrible
money.
mistake.
Well, yeah, hindsight is 2020. I am stupid.
But on the plus side, Pridwin is a genius, Minerva says,
This is
like
very
patting
true.
his shoulders. And cured
This
it.
is very
So,
Well, that's good. Why were you looting corpses?
I wanted their money.
He wanted to be a furry. And it
That
worked! It worked
doesn't
so
help
well!
your
I don't,
case.
no, I did not want to be a furry. Knock that off. That.
I could respect being a furry, but wanting their money, that just makes it worse.
Stealing from furries!
What do you expect from me?
I can expect... I can respect being a furry is not a phrase I ever thought I would hear in this campaign, but here we are.
Yeah, that's unexpected. Come on. Oh, god damn it, the cat. Not again! Motherfucker! Beans, you asshole! I don't even care about it.
As you guys are joking around, is there anything you guys want to say or do as the day is moving into night?
Out of curiosity, what kind of coffee did Faye get?
Faye, you had a very spicy blend. Actually had ground up like peppers in it. It was a lot. But for you, it was the most perfect cup of coffee. That's how roasted works. The best drink you've had ever. Quite possibly.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we just had a very interesting conversation on the middle of a lake. What did you guys do? Brian says to Anna and Faye.
We had coffee.
Fair enough.
Spicy coffee.
Spicy coffee? What?
They looked at my soul.
I'm sorry. You went to a coffee shop that looked at your soul? Okay, I gotta go there sometime.
It's kind of a staple here, Judah says from the side.
We also had a very deep and powerful conversation that brought us closer as friends, and will never be revealed to any of you.
No, fair enough.
Damn it.
You say that, but you act as if Faye won't spill it in like 30 seconds if I ask her.
Pridwin, you are standing there, like listening to this conversation when you feel two presences standing behind you.
Pridwin's gonna turn around.
You turn around and Sophia and Lorenzo are looking at you in like utter disgust and horror at your armor.
Really should have snuck in those windows.
They just start, like, before you can say anything, they just start pulling it off of you. Rapidly.
No.
Like, they are just, like, ripping the armor off of you.
It's
Jesus
not
Christ, get him a
tomato
room
sauce.
first before you rip
Oh.
everything.
Ketchup.
I still need this.
Yes,
Just,
ketchup.
like, pulling piece by piece off until you're left in, like, whatever you're wearing under the armor. And, like, with both of their arms full, they glare at you over the top of the pieces of marred armor in their arms, and then they just scurry down the hallway and disappear.
Oh dear.
I like them. They're
Pridwin's-
fun.
Brenwan's
Do you
just in his
normally-
Gambeson now.
Do you normally get into your underclothes out in the middle of nowhere?
Do you normally have
No.
two people strip you in public in front of all of your friends? Is this another bonding moment?
Technically
Is that what this
public if we're in our.
Can't believe I'm
Gestures
marrying
is
into this
fully
family.
clothed. Brenwan gestures to the fact that he's fully fucking clothed, and he says, "Armor is an overlayer. You put it over clothing."
But that's technically your underwear, because you wore it under, so...
She's got a point.
She has a point.
I didn't say.
But no.
underwear, I said underclothes.
I don't normally have my armor ripped off my body.
Glad that's not a
First-
normal thing here.
First time-
Lunala says not outside of the room, anyways.
I'm not surprised by that comment in the slightest.
Oh, you haven't seen Cat Lunala much, have you? Liam says to you.
There's a cat.
Oh right.
Yeah.
For the two people who have not yet seen Pridwin outside of his armor, he's very blue.
Uh-huh.
Smurf boy. Cool.
And his
He's blue.
his eyes look like fish eyes. Like the pupils look like fish eyes.
He's blue.
Also, he's married to a witch. Liam says to the new people in the room. And we're all totally okay with it. And you're not gonna have a problem, he says, pointing at all four of them.
No problems. None.
I've heard rumors, but she looks him up and down. Didn't expect this.
Indeed. My one of my ancestors was a witch.
What
Why
color
not?
do you turn if you're sunburnt?
Purple,
I know.
maybe?
I think it's a darker blue.
I'll say we tie him to a
Well-
pole and find out.
I wonder if the coloration is different if he bruises.
Let's not find that.
I'm sure.
It just gets darker. Lunala says to you.
I was going to say, pretty much everyone here has seen me bruised.
Yeah, we kind of got fucked up a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like
As is the job.
collectively? You collectively got fucked up? Like in the fun way or the not fun way?
Not
done
fun
both.
way.
Ah,
Well, some of us have.
I'm gonna like it here.
He's a bartender, actually, Liam says, slapping Pridwin on the shoulder. And so is she, he says, pointing to the 10-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know why you're surprised. We have a demon live with us.
I'm surprised by everything.
To be fair, there being bartenders in this group is probably the least strange thing.
That's probably one of the most normal things about this group.
Ein barks in the middle of the group.
And apparently we have a robot dog.
Pidge was also a bartender.
I can't tell if you guys just drink for fun or drink because your life just sucks ass so often.
Oh, speaking of drinking, Brian's gonna reach behind him, grab Albert the possum, set him on the table, pull a bottle of wine out. Hey, want wine?
They're underage!
Underage.
He's 4! I don't know, what am I supposed to do with him?
Chug. Brian's gonna grab Albert and just move him back to his arm.
Are you sure you want to be keeping a possum in here? You know those things get rabies, right?
You say that, and you notice that the hood behind Lunala is moving. And suddenly, a very large raccoon sticks its head out of Lunala's hood.
Oh my gosh, more pet friends! More pet friends!
It is wearing a full suit of armor.
It is wearing a full suit of hovel armor.
That
Empty boy.
that's it. I'm making a doctor appointment in the morning.
They have had their shot. Or at least
hold out the
Bandit
possum and be
has.
like, you think I shouldn't keep this guy? He's gonna hold Albert out to Anna.
If you don't want it, I want it. If you don't,
No, my possum. No, absolutely not.
Friends.
I love this possum.
The best
No, I just think you need to make sure he's properly taken care of.
Sure he is. I bought him from the same people that sold Prince the raccoon.
I'm just saying, I feel like shoving whole bottles of wine inside of the possum is maybe not the best course of action as far as taking care of it
He
goes.
also
But
has like 300 some
fit in the
gold
possum?
coins in him.
Can I fit in the possum?
No.
But have you tried it?
No.
You need to watch your possum.
Oh no.
Brian's gonna hold the possum close to him. He's gonna stuff him under his Letterman's jacket.
You won't be able to hide forever. New friend.
Albert, if he does anything to you, I'm so sorry, buddy.
Fredwin, you're standing there as the group is chit-chatting when Warden and Judah approach you. Hey, always like this? Judah asks.
Always.
Great. So, the two little ones in armor, they're your siblings?
My youngest siblings, yes. They're twins.
Oh, they, do good work, Warden says, smiling shyly.
Indeed, I'm actually surprised. Your armor isn't quite like their normal works. Did you design it yourself?
I had a few suggestions, but they kind of just took it from there.
It is marvelous.
It's really comfortable. I mean, I went on a whole run earlier with Anna, and it didn't even bother me.
They're very good at what they do.
So, this is gonna be kind of awkward, but you guys were friends with him, right? She's pointing at a door with a name on it. It's Soma's door.
Indeed, he was one of the first members of this group.
And that's going to be a problem.
He's going to be a problem.
Warden leans in a bit closer to you, the shyness gone from her face for a moment, and you get the look of the scars on her face. Old, but still prevalent after so many years. I'm not gonna play nice if he shows back up.
I don't believe any of us are.
Hey, Little Bit said she was gonna kill him, so, you might have to fist fight her for it, Liam says from the side.
Well, that's the fight I want to see.
I think she'd win, though. I think she'd win.
I do too.
Oh yeah,
Liam
she'd
says
definitely
take the fight.
win.
Muscle mommy vibes.
Well,
Chug, chug, chug.
just wanted to clear that up. She straightens, leaning back.
Whatever positive relationships we had with him have very thoroughly been dismantled by his current actions.
Well, here's to, new squad mates, I guess. Judah says, lifting her glass.
Sure.
Yay!
Hopefully
friend.
none of you die horribly in front of me. And she takes a drink.
We're
I'm
trying
keeping
to
my
keep that
grenades
to a
to
minimum.
myself from now on.
Is there anything else you guys want to do?
Just as a little side note, there is a little mechanical bee buzzing about the place. Just
Yeah, you guys do see beej flying around. If that is all you guys are wanting to do, then you guys finish dinner feeling rather comfortable with each other from the vibe I'm getting from all of you. And you guys begin to make your way towards your rooms. Those of you in the other building, Liam, Minerva, Anna, Warden, Faye, all of you making your way outside, saying your goodbyes, goodnights, and planning to meet up tomorrow. You all head off to bed. Pridwin, you and Lunala are heading to the room. You guys stayed to help Cody clean up in the kitchen. And it's as you guys are walking to your room that you hear some uncomfortable murmuring coming from your sibling's door.
Pridwin's going to first try to listen as he's passing, not like actively try and sneak in, but
As you try to listen, you hear it almost sounds like a video that's glitching over and over. Like somebody's rewinding it and replaying the scuffed sounds. You're having trouble even making out any words. Occasionally there's a low murmur.
Lorenzo, Sophia, are the two of you all right?
Immediately the sound of the video stops.
Pridwin's going to pretend he didn't hear anything. Just kind of like poke his head through the door.
You poke your head in, and the two twins are standing right next to each other in front of the door, looking at you.
Is everything alright?
Lorenzo glances over towards his side of the room where Avery is asleep, glances back at you, glances at Sophia, and then slowly hands out a PDA device.
He's going to take it and look at it.
You look at the PDA, and you notice that it's your family group chat that he's got pulled up. There appears to be a new post in the group chat.
Oh?
It appears very scuffed. The video doesn't even seem to be working. It's mostly disjointed pixels. Like somebody was trying to send you a video message, but it just, something went terribly wrong with it.
What is this?
Lorenzo glances at Sophia. She looks at you and shrugs.
We should see if Liam can help us with this.
They both nod. Tomorrow, Sophia says, and takes that PDA from you.
Yes, I think we need sleep first.
They turn around and walk away from you without so much more conversation. Sophia waves at you.
Pridwin will...
You pop back out into the hallway. Lunala's standing there waiting.
I'm not sure. Somebody sent something into our family group chat. It's some sort of distorted video. We're gonna see if Liam can crack it tomorrow.
Maybe it's like one of those things where like somebody sent something a long time ago, but it like got lost in the cloud or however that works.
Possibly. I don't know much about electronics.
She shrugs. Starts walking down the hallway towards your room. You follow her and you get into your room and she begins to settle in and you get yourself ready for bed when you hear a soft knock at the door.
Fredwin will answer.
You crack the door and look out and you see a small figure standing outside.
Katya?
She appears to be holding her dad's sweater, and she's looking around the dark hallway nervously.
Is everything alright?
She glances toward the bathroom again and then looks back at you. Can I sleep with you too?
Of course.
She rubs at her eyes, which have dark circles underneath of them. Walking in, you see that you didn't notice it before, but she's exhausted. She's barely keeping herself on her feet. She walks into the room with you and immediately looks to the mirror on the wall. Can you cover it?
Certainly. Fredwin will take a cloth and like drape it over the mirror.
Thanks. She goes into the corner and curls up on a pile of like blankets that are in the corner.
Do you want to talk about what's bothering you?
No, she says.
Very well. I won't cry.
You go to get into bed with Lunala and you hear very softly as you do, as if finishing her statement in passing. I just don't like the way my reflection's been staring at me lately.
Oh?
That's where I'm gonna cut it.
Hmm.
Bum bum bum.
Ruh-roh.